Okay guys, once again, welcome back. It's the same day I record the video. So as I said just now, I would like to give my opinion about the new commanders. So let's start with this Tariq because it's the most easy one. The skills is pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna ignore the first skill first because the expertise skill enhances the first skill. So let's start with second skill. 40% attack, increase damage towards cavalry 10%. March speed, let's ignore that. 40% attack is not too bad, and then infantry damage towards cavalry is 10%. Let's say in open field situation, you basically can ignore the second and third skill, so 40% attack, I wouldn't say it's too bad. I think it's pretty okay, because infantry marches, they actually lack of attack and health. So with this 40%, I think it's a good increasement, I would say. So this is the Bane of the Visigoths. Let's go for the third skill. Gates Crasher. When attacking cities, you get 10% defense, 30% defense bonus, or attacking strongholds. And each normal attack have 30% chance to reduce the target's attack by 30%. So basically, the infantry defense is pretty average, I would say, 30%. If you, let's say you're rallying, I think it's pretty good, but if it's open field, then it's useless. So for the normal attack damage reduced, you can clearly see that this commander, for whatever reason, it's actually countering Flavius, I would say. Because Flavius is a commander where you get your kills from the counter attack damage. Most of them. Because of the 20% counter attack damage you get from Flavius. And usually you in this active kingdom, they basically swarm things down. So that's how you get the value from Flavius, I would say. But I mean, if you're using Tariq, I think you're gonna further nerf Flavius, I would say. But I still think Flavius will still be the meta, and I don't think Tariq can actually win Flavius in the fight. I'm not sure. We'll still have to wait for the reports. Fourth skill, damage bonus 50%, reach reduction. I think the reach reduction is pretty, 80 for 3 seconds, that's 240. I mean, it sounds a lot, but nowadays you have Trajan, you have Joan Prime, you have Joan of Arc, you also have William. I mean, at least as a top player, not really top player, I would say old player, you will have William, you have Joan Prime, you'll most probably also have Trajan. So basically, reach reduction is not really significant, at least when it is level 1. If it's level 5, then maybe yes. Expertise skill basically is the first skill. Direct damage factor 2500, and then around 900 extra damage. So for this commander, if you want it to be open field, I think, it's obvious, a 5500. I don't think he'll be a primary commander. Or maybe you can put him 5515 if you're lucky enough. Because I think the last skill, if you really want it to be valuable, you need it to be a level 5 instead of level 1. So for Tariq possible pass, I think maybe Tariq Scipio might be a good idea. I don't think you should put Tariq with Herald. I don't know about that. Even though he have like 30% defense bonus, I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I think Tariq maybe with Scipio might be a better idea if rallying objectives because of Scipio's stat. And it actually replenish Tariq's health because Tariq's only boosts attack and defense. Open field 5500, 5511, 5515. Of course, rallying you just max it. If you're only getting this commander for open field, I don't think you should do it. If you really just want pure open field, I think you can go for Sargon, considering your Guan and Scipio both is maxed. So now let's go to Sargon. So why do I say this command is interesting? So the active skill is 500 damage. Let's say if it's max, so it's 100% probability, 500 damage times 5. So it's around 2500. But every turn you lose like troops. So let's say it's 500, 400, 300. So I'm gonna round it down to maybe 2000-ish. So 2000 instead of 2500. Second skill, infantry attack, infantry health, and then you're gonna add a stack of debuff. Third one, infantry march speed bonus, damage bonus, and then another damage bonus for 10%. Is it? Yeah, 10% to increase the damage by 30%, and then the fixed one is 10% damage bonus. So basically, if you're lucky enough, you can get 40% damage bonus in total. Last skill, 10% infantry defense, direct damage factor 1000 when all 10 stacks, when the enemy receives 10 stacks of debuff, and then he also gains a shield. Expertise, you have a 50% chance to inflict 2 stacks of odd effect on an enemy. Okay, so for Sargon, I think the trick to Sargon is a 5550 Sargon, so that you can keep the stack of debuff on the enemy. Alright, but eventually, I think you should max Sargon. So how does this work? First of all, 5550 Sargon, he will work as a debuffer. So you should put him behind maybe a Charles Martel, a Leonidas, or a Scipio. So let's say you are having a 5550 Sargon. I think you can do a Scipio Sargon, Martel Sargon, Leo Sargon. I personally don't really like Harold, but I think you can do it as well. Harold Sargon. So remember to keep him at 5550. Let's say you have 620 hits. Still the same. 5550 Sargon. Keep it like this. Until you have another 310 hits. Then you upgrade your Sargon to 4 stars and straight away max him. So the max Sargon, because he has 50% chance to inflict 2 stacks. Look at the final skill, because you can see when their troop is hit with the normal attack, 50% chance to inflict 2 stacks. But when you go back to the second skill, you see when attacking, this commander's troop has 50% chance to inflict a stack of odd effect. Okay, so here's the trick. Let's say every 2 turns he inflicts a debuff on the enemy, which means 10 turns the stacks will be full. So in one skill cycle, Sargon will be able to put 10 stacks of debuff. Alright? So 2 turns, 1 stack, which means that we can say that in 2 skill cycles, he will be putting 10 stacks. But then at least in a 10 skill cycle, which is a 10-second skill cycle, you'll be able to have 5 on the enemy. So this is important because that if you're using a lot of skill damage commanders, this is really good. But why you shouldn't unlock the 4th skill if you can't max them? Because you will not get enough value because of the direct damage factor being only 500 and the defense is only 2%. Come on guys. And the shield is only 150 and it's really low. So I think you should keep him at 5550. Keep it like this. Then as I said, you can pair him with Scipio, Martel, Leonidas, Harold if you want. But when you have enough hits to max him, let's say you have 600 hits. You can only upgrade to 555, maybe 5554 I think. But you shouldn't do that. You should only upgrade him to 5550. Keep it like this. Save enough hits until you can max the last skill all the way from 1 all the way to 5. So if you max Sargon, expertise Sargon, I think you can put Guan Yu with Sargon. Why? Look. So Guan Yu expertise skill requires a shield. So If Sargon is expertise, based on the skill description, if Sargon is getting hit with a normal attack, so he have 50% chance to inflict 2 stacks, which means that in a 10 skill cycle, there's a possibility that he will be able to put 10 stacks on the enemy. Correct? So, let's say your Guan Yu have a horn, which means that your Guan will fire off his skills at around the 9th second. So at the 9th second, Guan Yu will fire off his skill, and then at the 10th second, Sargon will have his 4th skill activated, as well as his active skill activated. So his 4th skill gives shield. So this shield will activate Guan's expertise. You know what? Let me just filter it out. You see? Increases his skill damage by 15% for 3 seconds. Which means this 500 direct damage factor for the first 3 seconds is gonna get boosted up by 15%. Which means that you're able to get maybe around 575 for 1, 2, 3, and then it backs to 500. So I think if your Sargon is 5555, it might be a good idea to put him behind of Guan. So to sum this up, I personally think that Sargon 5550, stop it like this until you have enough gold heads to max him, then 5555 straight away. No 5551, no 5552, no 5553. 5550 and then 5555. So my opinion will be, if it's a 5550 Sargon, Scipio Sargon, Leo Sargon, Martel Sargon, Harold Sargon if you want. I think Constantine Sargon also works, but I'm not too sure about it, because Constantine do not have much speed. Alright, so if your Sargon is expertise, I think, which means it's a 5555, then you can put a Guan Yu with Sargon. Alright, and then for the Tariq, I think for rallying, most probably Tariq Scipio. And I think if people constantly swarm you down, maybe Tariq Harold. I'm not sure about Pakal, but if it's Pakal, then I think it also works. But the issue with Pakal is his counter attack damage is not constant. His Pakal counter attack damage only comes out when Pakal's active skill gets cast. So this is my opinion on these 2 new infantry commanders. Will I invest in them? I'm not too sure. Even if I would, I think I will invest in Tariq instead, because of my equipment and my crystal technology. I can easily be a garrison leader or a rally leader. And then with my VIP, I'm VIP 17, I have 5% all damage there already. So I personally leaning towards Tariq or maybe Flavius. It depends on the situation. If based on tests, Tariq is OP, really can open field, really can rally, then Tariq will be my go-to. But for Flavius, if people rally my city, I can have him protecting my city. I can also have him protecting the flag when my alliance members is offline or they really need a garrison commander. So that's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Goodbye everyone.